It's probably very presumptuous of me to present this book to you. It's Aurorae by Gabriel McCaughry, published by Anathema Publishing, which belongs to Gabriel McCaughry. The reason I say it's presumptuous is because, well, I've read through it once, I've owned the book for 4 months, and I think that it would take a couple of decades for me to be confident and comfortable with the material that's inside. I first saw this book when I was visiting London. It was on the shelves of Watkins Books in London, and I picked it up and I thought, oh my goodness, this is absolutely beautiful. I mean, the two-tone of this green and yellow and black cloth with the gold stamp of this peacock feather and the half-closed Buddha eye. it just called to me. It's so beautiful. And then I opened it, and I have to be careful because there are a lot of illustrations of with nude bodies. So I'm gonna have to have a look inside. And I saw how gloriously illustrated it was by José Gabriel Alegría Sabogal. Absolutely beautiful. And then I also realized from reading some more, I realized that Gabriel McCaughry describes this book as being Luciferian Gnostic, and that I'll be honest with you, that kind of freaked me out. So I shied away, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was such an intriguing book, and after, I don't know, about 6 or 7 months, I found out a little bit more about Luciferian Gnosticism. I heard some podcasts where Gabriel McCaughry was being interviewed, and I decided, okay, well, I need to have this book and struggle with it, and that's really what I've been doing. But have I come to the end of my struggle? No way, absolutely no way. There is starts off with a 20-page or so foreword by Shani Oates, which is one of the densest treatises covering all aspects of Western esotericism within 20 pages. It's amazing. And then it gets started with an introduction by Gabriel McCaughry, which I'd like to read to you a couple of paragraphs from that. I hope Gabriel won't mind too much. And then there's all these texts. I'm gonna get away a little bit so that you get an idea of how thoroughly illustrated it is, but then, and it's beautifully illustrated. I mean, let me give you an idea of the quality here. There we go. However, if you don't like seeing naked bodies, then you may want to, I don't know, find another book, or find a way of confronting that, because there are a lot of naked bodies depicted here. So it's a very mystic text, in some in prose, some in verse, and then there are some meditations on first of all on these codices, as he calls them, And then there are some treaties, and the appendices are very interesting as well. What's great is that there is a fantastic index, because there are some very meaty concepts which are explored here, and yeah, or the words that may catch, the words that may be a little bit more difficult, are all explained in the back over here. I really want to show you those end papers, but I think the best thing would be to check them out on Google or on Anathema's own website, which I'll link in the description. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience of reading this book. I think the last time I read a book that had this effect on me was reading the Bible, and that I hope that doesn't sound too blasphemous, because this book is indeed very blasphemous, but it's also very holy, and manages to balance that paradox in a very elegant way. With every paragraph, I would struggle. I would say, and I totally disagree with that. In what way can that possibly be true? And then within the following hour, a real life experience would happen to me that would explain that paradox in no uncertain terms. Really, the last time that happened to me was when I was going through the Old and New Testaments with a highlighter, underlining every single thing that didn't make sense to me, and it would immediately be shown to me what was meant. So this is a very anything that I say about this book is going to be completely inadequate. Do I recommend it? I recommend it if you are well read on the topic of esotericism and of the occult. I think that if this is your first approach, you have I was going to say you have no chance, but I really honestly think that every individual is going to have a personal response to the contents of this fascinating book. I don't think I can really say anything more that would be of any use, other than if you're into the Western esoteric tradition, and have some knowledge of other world esoteric traditions, then this is some heavy meat, and I do strongly recommend it. It's a beautiful object. It's filled with gnosis, and it's an honor to own it. There we go. I think that's really going to conclude what I have to say about Aurorae. Other than to say thank you, Gabriel McCaughry, for making this artifact. I promised you that I would read from the introduction, so let me do that for you right now. Sorry, this is the foreword. Here we go. And I will finish on this. Reading a book is, in itself, a subtle act of ritual. It may well open doorways and spirit gates, allowing for sequences of fractal epiphanies to reach the discerning or sapient individual. It is possible to attain a certain single-pointedness. A globality of theorems made absolute can be identified if one delves deep into the corpus of a text, reading between the lines, so to speak. And as we reflect on the permeating analogies forming a singular idea or an ideal thought form, the images of the whole imprint onto the mind's eye of the attentive reader. Thus, entities are brought forth and invoked. There are ways to achieve contact with exoteric intelligences from the act alone of reading a book. The quality of the book to stimulate synaptic consonance through powerful symbolism can determine the nature and success of such transaction. That is, if one is willing or even able to conceive of such a possibility, since mysteries are not communicable save to those who know. What is done once a link has been established is entirely one's choice, and the reader may open several doors along the way. Upon reaching a book's end, they are ultimately who decides whether or not to enter to grasp the arising opportunities. I'm sorry, it's quite late in the evening. This is my 20th attempt at making this review. So those are the lines that open Gabriel McCaughry's. You have to call it an opus magnum. It reminds me of what Philip K. Dick was describing when he said that the Nag Hammadi library was a repository for a sentient being which entered through the reader's ocular nerve and went to live in the reader's brain as the reader reads through the Gnostic texts. Well, I would certainly suggest that those words are appropriate for what's going on with this book. So that's it. I'll end there because anything else that I have to say is just going to be rambling. Thank you very much for watching as usual, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to help me out and to support the channel, I'd really appreciate that. And see you very soon with a new video. Take care. Bye.